Hi, my name's Jesse from WOLTECH, and I want to go over a couple things on an alternator first. Have a lot of people asking me where to connect the wires when they install the alternators, so we'll make a video. I got this trashed alternator here, and I'll give you a quick rundown on it. You'll see when you get your alternator, it will have two arrows just drawn on the back of the case. The bolt that goes into the rear of the case is for the ground wire. It's the fat wire on your truck that goes to the ground. It's even cast ground into the housing so you know where to connect that wire. The only other wire you need is a positive wire right here. You'll see the nut on it. There's an arrow pointing right at it to tell you where to connect your battery wire, and it's even marked BAT, B-A-T. That can go directly to your batteries, but on most trucks it goes down to the main starter post. So now that that's out of the way, the next thing we want to talk about is if you have a truck with our alternator in it and the batteries get run dead for some reason, you leave the lights on and the truck's not running and the batteries die, you may lose the magnetic field inside your alternator. And so you start your truck back up, you jump it, you start your truck back up, and you'll find out that it's not charging. What you need to do to remedy that situation, basically jump start it. You're going to notice on the back of the alternator, there are three connection points here. You have your battery terminal, which we've already talked about. You also have this terminal here. It's marked I. That's for a tachometer. You don't even need to worry about that. Some of our alternators don't even have these in there. The other terminal here is R. It's marked R on the case. I wrote over it so you can't see. Nice bent one. But anyways, what you're going to do if your alternator is not charging, one of the first checks you can do to see if you can remedy the situation is you're going to start the truck. You're going to get it idling at, 1200 RPMs or so. Make sure it's idling. And you're going to go to the back of this alternator while the wires are hooked up. They're connected to your battery. Everything's, attached as should be. And you're going to put a little screwdriver or anything similar on the positive post. And you're going to rotate the screwdriver down and just touch that post that fast. It's the R post. It's marked with an R, or the one counterclockwise from your battery post facing the rear of the alternator. You're just going to touch it, zap. When you do that, you should see a spark come off this terminal and the alternator should start charging. That's how you jump start or re-energize the field in your alternator. I hope that helps some people. We've had probably 10 people over the years have that issue. And it'll charge without issue from then on, unless, of course, you run your batteries dead. If you get to a point where your alternator is not charging, maybe it just wore out, something failed, who knows. There's a lot of parts in these alternators that do different things. But if re-energizing your field doesn't work, there's another check you can do. That could be a bad regulator if that doesn't work. Or it could be one of the windings. It could be the stator, or it could be the rotor itself. The second check you can do to help you determine what part may be wrong inside the alternator, and it's very helpful to us, actually. These are simple alternators to work on, so if you have a problem with a regulator, we'll just send you out a kit to repair that regulator and brushes and a few different things to make it so it's an easy swap or an easy repair that you can do yourself. The next test, but we don't know if it would be the regulator being bad, or we don't know anything from that. We know that you re-energize the field and it's still not charging, then we can go to the next procedure, and it's called a full field test. For a full field test, you're going to want to hook up a volt ohm meter to your alternator. You have the ground, of course, and the charge wire. These two are important. You're going to want to connect your meter The black one, of course, to the ground, and the red one, of course, to the charging post. And you're going to have your meter on. You're going to start the vehicle and have it running. And what you're going to do, this full field test is going to check to see if the stator and the rotor are functioning. If they are functioning, then we know we can send you out a regulator or a set of brushes or whatever. If it's something that requires, the stator or the rotor, we're going to have you send the whole alternator in for us to, rebuild, repair, replace the bad parts. But you're going to notice in the back of this alternator, there is a D-shaped hole. If you look down in that hole, I don't think you can see it very good with the light, but straight down, there's a little tab sticking out. You can barely see it in there. It's like a round-shaped tab. And I will show you what it looks like on the brush holder. This is the brush holder. You'll notice right here, you see a round tab. That tab is down inside the alternator right underneath that D-shaped hole. I hope this makes sense to you. So when your truck is started, it's idling, everything's turned on, and you have your meter connected to the ground and to the positive terminals, and the meter's turned on so you can see the voltage. You're looking for voltage. What you're going to do is you're going to stick this while it's running in the D-shaped hole, stick a small screwdriver or a pin down into the hole, and you're going to try and touch that little metal tab being this, down inside the D-shaped hole of this alternator. If you push a metal object in there straight and just push straight down, you'll touch it. I'm touching it right now. So what you're trying to do when you do this is you're trying to short the case, which this cast case, you're trying to short that into that little tab down inside the hole. You'll just be connecting the tab to the case. That will bypass the voltage regulator inside of the alternator, and it will allow the alternator to make full maximum power. Here's the very important part about this. The alternator, if the stator and the rotor are good and it's just a bad regulator, and you short this D-shaped hole out and you're doing a full field test, the alternator will put out more voltage than specified. So if you have a 24 volt, say M35 or M923 type truck, they need about 27.5 volts to charge properly. When you short this out, you may see voltage spikes as high as 30, 40, or even 50 volts. You'll get a large, real high voltage spike. Keep in mind that your truck's not made to charge with that amount of voltage, neither are your batteries. It's not good on the truck. But for years, what we've been doing is we will short it out, read the voltage. If the voltage goes up past 30, you're good. That's all you're looking for. It might briefly hit 70, 60, 50. It could be any high number. Don't worry about that. The point I'm making, or the important part, is you're going to touch this and short it out. You're going to look at the voltage long enough to get a reading. So keep the meter handy and real close right by your alternator. You're going to short it out. You're going to check the voltage. If it's nothing, then you know the stator or the rotor is bad. It would most likely be the rotor. But when you short it out, you're not going to hold it there for 5 minutes. You're going to short it out just long enough to get a voltage reading and then remove the screwdriver quickly. If you hold it there too long and it is putting out voltage, you're going to overcharge your batteries. You could fry a lot of systems on your truck. So you really don't want to do that full field test and hold it there. If you're not comfortable with that, of course, just disconnect the positive wire off the back of the alternator and lay it aside, tape it up, or put a glove around it, anything to keep it from shorting out on the vehicle body, the engine block, anything like that. But we don't. And we've never burned anything up. It's gonna be like 1 second of a short. You're gonna put the screwdriver in there or any metal object that'll reach down in there, and you're gonna read the voltage. And if it's over 30, pull the metal object out. You know that the stator and the rotor are working, and that will tell you that you have a problem in the regulator. And we'll send you out a regulator and brushes or whatever else is required to change that. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, be sure to comment below and let us know. Thanks. Bye.